All right, so our first talk today will be a keynote panel discussion. It's called Echoes of the Future, designing a stage that rises from the land. What if a stage could rise from the land, not just as a platform, but as a statement of identity? And I have this fantastic panel here today. They have been working so hard to create this beautiful space. I must say it's maybe my favorite stage to date. I love it. Yeah, it's so cozy. Yesterday we had full house all day long, really good feedback. So I think that's probably, Can I start with you, please?
Hello all, my name is Iman Alam. I'm an architect and interior designer at Indidale Design Center. It was an absolute pleasure to be part of designing this beautiful stage for Index Riyadh this year. We heard so many great feedback from yesterday, so it was really great to hear. And I'm looking forward for this amazing conversation.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Iman Abul-Jadair, founder and principal designer at Indidale Design Center. I'm so privileged to be here in a space that we designed so fast, but we put a lot of thought in with Lohit. And thank you for having us.
Thank you, Iman.
I'm Rena Bashin. I'm an interior designer at Indidale Design Center. It's such an honor to be amongst my colleagues here, and I'm super happy to have been part of the design process of this stage. And I'm very glad at how it turned out to be. And thank you for having us.
Thank you. Lohit.
I'm Lohit Karapkar, founding manager for Trio Creations. Being this space, I will first of all thanks Indidale design teams from designing such a wonderful space. Yeah, there was a bit story we have created during the whole bringing this space to life. We will discuss in the further discussion. Thank you.
I was going to say, there's even so much to discuss. How did it come about, this whole collaboration? Because you guys also worked together before, right? And you worked on the stage last year, Lohit, no?
Last year it was a different design team we worked around, but working with Indidale, it was a different experience overall, completely.
Okay, so ladies, maybe you can start off by taking us through the concept, right? So from what I understood is that the concept of the stage began with a quiet moment overlooking a natural amphitheater. So how did you capture something so fleeting, a memory, a view, this feeling, and then translate it into architecture?
I mean, at first, when Engineer Iman showed us this picture, it was more than enough to be an inspiration for this stage. Overlooking the Saudi desert from above gave us this feeling. It's not only about the shape, but also the feeling it gave us of being embraced and welcomed in the Saudi desert. And this really does reflect the Saudi culture of coming together and greeting people. So we really wanted to reflect this by different design elements in the stage for people to feel coming together and sharing vision and inspiration throughout the design process.
Yeah, I think when we were first asked to design the stage, we had a lot of concepts going on and brainstorming sessions, and everyone in the team had their own vision of the stage. But we all agreed that we want to keep people feeling different in the stage. Like we talked a lot about how do we want them to feel while sitting in the crowd, and the thing that we all agreed about is that we wanted to be a very inclusive, very engaging, and people would feel like they're sitting around a desert camp or a Bedouin tent where they would have discussions and different opinions, and that was the moment when I saw the landscape, and then I said, yeah, that's it. It's an amphitheater, but it's closed, and we want people to feel cozy. This is the feeling that we want.
What can you give us some of the concepts that didn't make it to the final end, like some things that you played with, maybe?
But we tried to combine more than one idea and come up with the end result. First, we thought about the horizons, the golden horizons, and so we implemented that. Maybe you can see it in the color. But yeah, the main concept was around the dunes of Saudi Arabia, as you can see.
Yeah, I think it was very like when we were brainstorming, we didn't know like where to start. We wanted something to reflect Saudi holistically, or a region in particular that resembles a special motif. Like, you know, Saudi Arabia has each and every region has a different cultural elements and aspects. So we spoke a lot about that. Like, do you want to unify? We want to come up with something that is unified, that represents the whole peninsula, or it's only one region and one motif, so or a certain architecture or a region. So that's why we went for the land itself.
Take us through the process. You were given this space, because I've seen many stages. It's quite unique to sit in the middle and have the audience left and right? So were you given this space, or this was your take on it?
That was the challenging part. Like, and even when Shu contacted me first and Zahra talked to me, they were like, Iman, good luck, but we're going to send you a plan that you're not going to be happy with. And we looked at it, it was very narrow and long. And they were like, we know that you're going to do something with it. So it's at that point when we discussed, like, we want to do a circulation, and we want to like break down this longitudinal feeling and reflect the exact opposite, where we want to have something cozy and like inclusive, rather than something long and a stage very far away.
If that's the alternative, then, right? I mean, I must say it works out really well. I can only see, for me, I'm only looking at the half of the audience, but it was full house yesterday, jam-packed the whole day. So I think that's the best compliment that you can get, right? How did the collaboration between the two of you come about? Did you guys work together before?
No, this is the first time we are working with InDetail's team. I remember the first call we had, the explanation was the stand will show landscape first, and it is in line to the upcoming 2030 vision of Saudi region. So yeah, we were very cautious, and you know, how will the design come up? First time when we saw, there were on and off things which we discussions were there, and then we finalized few things. Talking about the landscape again, which we are highlighting more, every element in the theater, you take whether it is entrance, the front wall, the side walls, it shows layers, which is itself a description of the landscape of the region. Secondly, I would say the texture. It was a pretty
That was a very
on and
big
off
discussion
experience.
and so
Yeah.
many samples. Yeah.
But finally we closed somewhere which in line with the texture of the sand, and to bring this beautiful space into picture.
Yeah, it's the thing is like we gave this stage a title which is Echoes of the Future. So we wanted to represent something that is very rooted in the land, yet it reflects the fluidity of the modern and future Saudi Arabia, and what we are aspiring to go to align with the Vision 2030, like Lohit said.
What were some of the biggest challenges that I mean, I can only imagine it must be the restriction of time, probably, right? Translation and materials. Like, can you take us through, and maybe you can also tell us what worked out really well in your view, and maybe what you're most proud of.
In terms of, if I want to talk about the actual sampling process, like we opted from Dubai. Iman and team was present in Jeddah. Production was happening in Riyadh. So you know that coordinations, that sample has to physically delivered, then had to check it out, and then the review process has to happen. But it was wonderful, I will say, the review and the response on time, because we have indeed short time, around within 25 days, we managed to do all the approvals, review submissions, everything.
Wow.
So yeah, it is both two hands process, like hand in hand we did it, but yeah, it was pretty good coordination.
I must say they were very efficient with whenever we wanted an amended sample. I don't want to say rejected sample, but they were very efficient in like making it a point to have the sample physically in our office in Jeddah. Like even like because we travel a lot, we come to Riyadh here to overlook our projects. So I'm always here. Sometimes Iman and Rana are always there. So we gave them our schedule, like if you and asked them if you want to like hand us the materials or samples while we are here, and they were like, no, we're gonna deliver everything to your office in a timely manner. So yeah, that was, to be honest, I salute him for that.
All right, guys, designing a temporary stage is different from a permanent building, obviously. How do you ensure it carries depth, identity, and meaning, even though it exists for such a short amount of time? Is the process any different? The approach to a project like this different than any of your other projects?
Yes, 100%, because we specialize in luxury projects. And usually when we design projects, we do focus on spatial planning and experience, but there's a lot more into it with selecting materials. Like we really focus on using, for instance, marbles, silks, gold leafing, like a lot of luxury materials. In this stage, we couldn't, like, there's time restrictions, there's budget restrictions. Yes, so it was a very challenging to give this luxury feeling with very basic materials and fast application materials. Yes.
Yeah, and to continue on that, from the very beginning, we wanted to work on capturing a memory for any of the visitors coming to the stage by using different elements, starting by maybe the entrance gate, just for them to feel as if they're going inside a different experience. So it's more about how they will leave this stage feeling, and this a memory will last longer. So this is what we were trying to achieve from the very beginning. Yeah.
I mean, I guess working with so many restrictions, as you say, can't help but think that light also plays a huge role in a project like this. How did you balance and use rhythm, shadow, illumination as part of your storytelling?
Okay, so to touch base on that, as you can see, we tried to implement it throughout the stage. For instance, the amphitheater, the levels on the stage, the walls. We tried to implement the LED hidden lights just to give warmth to the space and also to the experience itself. Even when people are sitting amongst us, they can feel encompassed within the space. And as Iman said, the entrance itself is alone an experience where they can feel that they entered a different era. So yeah.
Thank you. I mean, we spoke about hospitality and how it reflects also Saudi culture, right? Every detail you said contributes to cultural pride. Which design element in particular, let it be small or large, best embodies the echoes of the future idea for you?
Everyone will
Maybe
say,
everyone will
yeah,
say
you start.
something.
I'll go last.
I
Maybe you have
have a
different
lot of
favorites,
things.
yeah.
As I said, the gates are one of my favorite, and also this space that was created, the center ally that was created from the stage itself. It's as if an open space was created for people to come together, to create this openness for open conversations and for people to discuss and get inspired. So yeah, this is one of my favorites, and which further enhanced it was the furniture layout that really made it comfortable for people to join. Not only like observers, we wanted people to be part of the conversations and the all panel talks.
I think for me, the lines alone are like, you can feel that maybe it reflects different paths, different people, but at the end we're all like, we're very hospitable, so we're very welcoming. Also the color, yellow, it's very like, itself, it's very vibrant, it's very, it shows ambition. So I think that really reflects on Saudi's 2030 vision and the people, the Saudi people themselves.
Lohit, do you have anything particular that you are proud of on how it came out?
The very important thing is the entrance arch, because it shows a detail of a branching structure with different, every layer has a different color. So it grades from, as we see a sand in desert, when, you know, due to the ripples of it, we can see different shades. Same pattern is followed in the same, you can see entrance arches. In the T8 seating, if you look, it was first only basic 2-3 colors. Then we had discussions we need to make it more detailed. So every layer of this tiered seating was more bifurcated into more colors. So that's what I related with the layers of sands.
What was the most difficult part for you to realize?
Difficult was the arches, the entrance arch, because you see it is not very straight and sleek. It is curved all around. So making it in line to how it was designed and brought into pictures. So we need to make it actual. That was a challenge.
So they gave you a hard time, huh? All right. I mean, often projects like this balance constraints, budget, time, and buildability. That's where I wanted to move to. So can you share a moment where a constraint actually pushed your creativity further?
Like every element of this stage is, we had pushed. First thing I will say is, yeah, arches as I mentioned earlier. Second thing was the texture paint, making it the same feeling of the sand. That was challenging. One element which is...
I'm waiting for that.
one element which is the real, I will say it was very close to us, but we have to, due to safety concerns, we have to eliminate at the last moment. There was a hanging structure here which was the challenging. We did it, but yeah, that was the challenging part, which I would say like...
Yes, like I said, I think the most challenging part for us as a practice is choosing materials that would go well and reflect the feeling that we want without having the liberty of choosing sourcing any type of material from all around the world. Like every time we specified something or an element, Lohit would go and say, we need to assemble in 3 days. And we need something that dries in 3 days, something that it could be fixed in 3 days, something that can be mounted in 3 days. So it's like, it was very challenging to think of really durable material that would not wear out in 1 day, but it would last for 3 days and it could be fixed in hours. That was the most challenging part.
Must also probably be a very humbling experience, right? To think that it's only going to be around for such a short time. Are there any parts of the stage of the setting that are going to be reused, repurposed?
Yeah, I had this question to Lohit. Honestly, I was wondering, are we going to use anything?
We are practicing the sustainability part as from last couple of years. So obviously the curves part, they can't be reused, but what straight elements are there, we refurbish this and we use in the structures wherever we can do in the next upcoming projects. That is what we practice from last. We had few sustainability questions like government also needs to align us when we do our compliances for a yearly basis. So that time these are the questions we come across. So only the straight structures, because customized pieces obviously the next project comes into picture, so we can't use the same. But on structural end, whatever we can like reutilize, we practice that.
Yeah. So maybe next year this won't be an afterthought, but then we can implement. I remember this from the stage that was done in Dubai. Not sure if you've seen it, but they were and they mentioned that the curves are the challenge, but because there were so many straight structures, they were able to repurpose 90% of the stage. I thought that was fantastic. So, but that's interesting, yeah. How do you imagine that this stage will shape the conversations that take place on it? Do you feel like the design itself influences the dialogue of a nation's future? I made that very heavy in the end, but let's stay with the conversations here today.
I think the aim was to really invite people to engage in the conversation. So having people so close and all around, not being for the speakers not to feel that they are on a pedestal and they're like giving a speech and like people must sit and be quiet and listen. We want to, I hope that the audience here feels the way that they are part of the conversation and they want to like give their input. Also, I have a question for the AV team. Do they like this setting? Because we really put them into consideration. We really thought of them and we were thinking that they deserve to be in the front to see and monitor and control everything because they are the heart of the stage.
Guys, happy with the design? Thumbs up? Thumbs down? Up? Yeah? Oh, okay, very good. I mean, I think I must say from my point of view, this is also often overlooked because we've dealt with really funky colors in the past. And then you know what what I surprisingly heard people say is that like, oh, you know, we as designers, we design our feet so beautifully, but then because the colors were so screamy, we didn't want to post a picture. And I thought, you know, so I mean, we don't have that problem now, but also the lighting, and then if the lighting reflects the bright pinks and blues, you know, we've been through that also. It's, I think, really interesting that you started with that in mind.
Yeah, we really thought that we can give them the liberty and freedom to change the mood in each and every single session. And we wanted to give them a sort of a plain, not a plain canvas, but a clean canvas
Yeah.
for them to like really go wild with the lighting and different moods that they want for the panels.
Yeah, and I must also say it feels a little bit like a living room. I can tell exactly where the favorite spots are. People grab their coffee, and people spend hours in the same place. I mean, because I'm here all the time, I see it happen, right? So I think that's
Yeah,
a
there's
great
one
testament
actually,
to it.
not only for the. We really wanted it to feel like when we were discussing that, me and Iran, and we were saying we want to we want to like lay it out as a salon rather than a conference. And also for the tiered seating, we gave them a little detail of a little backrest, so they also feel comfortable over there with the carpeted flooring. And we didn't want them to be scared if they are on the top tier. So we really thought of that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure the carpeted flooring, especially on the tiered seats, also really helps with the acoustics, right? That's always a challenge. Yesterday, you know, obviously opening day, and there was always someone having a party. So for me, it's always.
And I don't
you
know why
the
always the
concern.
party is next to the stage. It's always like that.
Yeah, they're always extremely loud. There was a violin, the whole. Oh my god. But yeah, so how important are the acoustics for you in the design process when you design a space like this?
Of course, it's very important, and it's one of the very important elements in a design, and we try our best to include it in the design itself, not just to be like standing out. No, we blend it into the design. Like here, we use the carpets for that purpose, so we always keep it in mind, of course.
Are you limited to what you can do? Let's say with panels. I mean, acoustic paneling, then it becomes
Yeah.
expensive.
No,
quickly,
actually,
right?
we were
But-
super limited because we designed it and we hanged it,
Oh,
and then
really?
they removed it. Yes,
okay.
for safety reasons. So we were really hoping to fix the acoustical problem, but I think there's so much you can do with the.
It's about finding that sweet spot, right? But
Exactly.
in the end, I think it works out well, right? So let's before we open it up, in case there are questions, I want to leave time for that. If from each of you, if you could leave the audience with one insight about turning landscape and memory into design identity, what would it be? Like your key takeaway from the process?
For me, it's curiosity. We really wanted to create this curiosity feeling for any of the visitors. Even if they saw this stage from outside, they are curious to go inside, and maybe it looks familiar, but there is something new, and even the experience indoor of the seating and the furniture layout too.
I think, as Iman said, I agree with her. The sense of curiosity, even as you can see here in the central area of the stage, people passing by can see a glimpse of what's happening inside, but that really invites them to actually come and see what's happening on stage. So yeah.
Yeah, you know, that's so smart because, and I see it all the time, if it was a little bit lower, you get all people like lining up on the outside. We see that often, right? And then the conversation happens outside. But this is just about the right height where people understand and can also hear that there is something going on. And
You can
then,
see the screen fully, but if you want to be part of the conversation, they have to come in.
Yeah, yeah. Lohit, anything from your end?
The most wonderful part I liked was the tiered setting. Because earlier it was very minimal in color. Then when we made it to a layered space, you know, like every single layer should have a different color. So that is what I embraced more in that design.
Any closing thoughts before we're gonna wrap it up? And I'm gonna see if there are questions.
I hope so.
It's not in my hands, but I really like this one, I must say. All right, let's see if there are any questions for this panel. Just raise your hands, we'll get a microphone over to you if that's the case. No? If not, okay, then we're going to wrap it up. Thank you so much for giving us this beautiful
Thank you
space
so
and
much.
taking us into your world. Thank you so much. Let's give them a big applause, please. We're going to take a picture. Right. Oh, yeah, we will take it.